Hello, you're welcome. This is Value Propellers again. We're talking about made for value. Now, in Genesis chapter 1, God created the heaven and the earth. He created the heaven and the earth. Now we began to consider that the creation of heaven and the earth. Then we began to discover that God started talking about the fact that He never made the earth to be empty. He never made the earth to be empty. So He made the earth a value-based habitat. So if you make something, if you have made something and you left it without doing anything to it, it means you just made it for nothing. But with our God is the God who knows the end from the beginning, is the one who doesn't, even though He doesn't live in time, He lives in eternity, but is a God of value. He has value, even though He is in eternity, but He's a God of value. He has value for His name. He has value for what He makes. He has value for His word. He has so much value all about Himself. He has value for His nature, His characteristics, His actions, inactions, intent. His silence is value. His speaking is value. Everything about God is value. So He never will make anything for nothing. So He had to let us know that what He made, the earth that He made, He didn't make it to be empty. He made it for value. Now, He said, I never created it to be empty. It means two things. Number one, when God said He didn't create it to be empty, maybe we should first of all check. Isaiah chapter 45 verse 18. It said, for thus saith the Lord that created the heavens, God Himself that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. He formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord and there is none else. That's King James Version of that particular rendition. Recovery Version have it thus. It said, for thus says Jehovah, who created the heavens. He is the God who formed the earth and made it. He established it. He did not create it to waste. Wow. He didn't create it to waste. No, it wasn't a wasted product. It wasn't a wasted value. But He formed it to be inhabited. I am Jehovah and there is no one else. Let me read Amplified Version of this particular verse again. For thus says the Lord, who created the heavens, God himself, who formed the earth and made it, who established it and did not create it to be a worthless waste. He formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord and there is no one else. Isaiah 45:18. Now, King James Version talk about the earth not being made in vain. God didn't make the earth in vain. It wasn't a wasted effort in the making. Neither was it a wasted creation. You see, the first idea of, if you look at the way King James Version rendered it, almost in modern English, you will say that it is not a wasted effort. In vain. Not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. He did not create it waste. Wow. So, oh my God, oh Jesus. He did not create it to waste, but he formed it to be inhabited. And so those who are saying they want to reduce the earth population, you see yourself, can you see yourself that you are in rebellion? Maybe God has assumed that this kind of rebellion will come. So God has put even that rebellion that some people are advocating, now that the earth is too populated, he has added it to his intent for the earth. He has added it in his estimation. And that's why he said it. You know, he could have stopped at that. He did not create it in vain. No, but he continued. He had to add a statement so that you don't misunderstand and you don't misquote and misinterpret. He knew that sons of men at this time will want to prove their mettle of wisdom and try to use their wisdom to think for God and seek to interpret his mind. So what he meant is that he formed it to be inhabited. He made the earth to be inhabited. And so if God is not saying there's too much of people that I cannot produce food for them, that there are too many souls that I cannot feed them, that there are too many people that the earth is already crying, I can't carry people again. My carriage capacity is gone. It's gone completely. Then it means we are walking in rebellion. It means we are walking in rebellion. And you see, that rebellion has been estimated. That's why in the earlier verses of that same chapter, In the earlier verses of that same chapter, before God came to talk to us about the earth, God was talking. In verse 9, he said, woe to him that strives with his maker. Woe to him that strives with his maker. Maybe you're thinking, you are striving with your maker. Maybe in your actions, you are striving with your maker. You are touching his glory. You are poking him in the face by your rebellion, by your rebellious concepts that you generate as idea, and you sell and multiply evil. By propaganda, you are blackmailing your creator. He said, woe to him that strives with his maker. Let the potsherds strive with the potsherd of the earth. You can be doing that to yourselves on the earth. Shall the clay say to him that fashioned it? Wow. God had to go and talk to man from where he is made. That shall the clay say to him that fashioned it? There's a lot in this particular scripture. That fashioning. What makest thou? All thy work, he hath no hand. So he's saying that he didn't create the earth in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. He formed it to be lived in. Men should live in it. So those who are promoting death, they are walking in rebellion. Those who are speaking death, they are promoting rebellion. Those who are working to advocate death, instigate fear that bring death, propagate death, and advocate death, and advance the cause of death in their own rebellion. They are working against their maker. Now, that aside, we are saying the earth is made for value. When God said he never created the earth to be empty, it was suggesting two things, like we mentioned, like I earlier mentioned. So let's talk about the two suggestions about the fact that the earth is not made empty. Number one, is talking about the fact that the earth is not made empty of resources. That's why I said he fashioned it to be inhabited. That's what made the earth a value-based habitat. He made the earth to be full of resources in varieties. That's why we have colors. That's why we have different shades. Even one color, you see different shades of the same color. For example, the blue I'm wearing is called sky blue. We have navy blue. We have turquoise blue. We have all manner of blues. Different shades of the same color. He created it not to be empty. Number one, not to be void of resources. Resources. That's why there is no part of the earth that doesn't have its own mineral resources. The land has many mineral resources. God made the earth to be valuable. He made it a value-based, value-composed, value-constituted habitat. Value-embedded, value-engulfed habitat. Never created it to be empty. Empty of resources. Men as resources. Time as resources. Things as resources. Number 2 is I never created the earth to be empty of intent. God has an intent for the earth. He has an intent for the earth. The intent for the earth is to deliver value. Is to deliver the value for which he made it. So he made the earth for an end. He made the earth for a goal. He made the earth for on purpose. It's on purpose. It's on purpose. So those two things are critical. On why the earth is made for value. Filled with resources. And for a reason. For a reason. So we must check ourselves and say, are we delivering the value that we are made for? Are we actually that resource good enough to be sustained by the earth? Made for value. Made for value. Both of resources and of intent. There's a reason why you are here. You're not just here on your own. You're not just here to eat and drink. In fact, you are not just here to just fend for yourself. You are here for higher purpose, higher intent. You see, that's why you need to meet with your Creator. Because until you meet with your Creator, you cannot truly meet yourself. You cannot meet yourself. Because it's the one that knows the reason why he made you. For value. And he made you to be found in a value-based habitat called the earth. So you need to meet your Creator. Are you actually delivering the value for which you are made? You need to meet him. You need to engage him. You need to interact with him. You need to ask questions. You need to ask questions. You need to check up with him. Because you are made for value. Because the earth which you are living in was made not as a worthless waste. Not as a worthless waste. I love that rendition. The rendering the rendering, the way Amplified Version rendered it. They did not create it to be a worthless waste. So if it is not a worthless waste, then it means it is a valuable, it is a worthy or valuable habitat. Habitat is, he said he formed it to be inhabited. So that's where we got the idea of habitat. So it means it's a value-based or valuable habitat. So there is a value-based habitat. The value-based habitat. The last part of that statement is like the signature of God. Of that part of the scriptures that we have read variously. It's like a signature to this statement. It's a whole statement made. Thus saith the Lord that created the heaven, God himself that formed the earth and made it. He established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. He now put his signature. You know, when you are finished writing a letter, now put yours sincerely. I write some letters, so I know the import of that statement, of that string of statement. And the Lord, there is none else. So you must cherish your being here. Your being and being here. So even you are not made as a worthless waste. And God was careful to ensure that man was made from the dust of the earth, so that you can know that just like the earth is not made a worthless waste, so is the man made from the dust of the earth. Is also not made a worthless waste. You are not made a worthless waste. We are not even going into the aspect that you see, let's leave religion. Let's leave all the theology of. You see, even from the making of man, it is very, very clear that man is expected to deliver value on this earth. Because if you look at the context of this scripture and you now look at the making of man, you will see that man has no option than to deliver purpose, than to deliver value, than to deliver the goal and the intent of the one that made him. Because it's made from that which is not made to be a worthless waste. So man has the reason to justify his making as a man. You just carry a small container of sand and put some water. Let it just get moist for some days and see whether that sand will bring forth, will begin to show that I'm a value-based person, I'm a value-based resource. No, it will prove to you It will prove itself to you that I was made a value-based resource. And see, no matter the quality of me that you find or where I am kept, in as much I see the resource, a supply, right environment, I will deliver value. The earth is made a value-based habitat. It's made for value. It contains value. And so you as a man, you must understand that you are made to deliver value. And you must stand in that concept. You must stand in that understanding and defend it and fight against what will not make you deliver value. You see, that's why I am so sure our nation will not continue this way. No, there will be a response. Either from the one who made the earth a value-based habitat, or from the people whom he has made to be value-based personalities. There will be a rising to fight against that which want to debase their value. I want to compromise their value. I want to contain in wickedness their value composition. That which doesn't want them to express their value will rise to fight eventually. Because the earth is made as a value-based habitat. You are made a value-based personality. Don't disappoint your maker. Don't frustrate your maker. Rise and demonstrate that value that you are made and embedded with. I pray the peace of God on you as you consider this. God bless you. See you again.